that better? Sorry. Hi, guys. Subbing. People subbing and rubbing and flubbing. I'm going to thank you guys in a second, but I forgot to pull up my Twitch chat. There we go. Okay. Whoa! Everybody's going crazy! Okay, so, what the fuck? Why are you doing this to me, bro? Why are you doing this to me, bro? This minute. Let's go back a little bit. 1 minute ago. Somebody subbed right as I turned the stream on. Bubsy BBB. Thank you for subbing. Thank you for Dennis. Thank you Manzington. Thank you Ben Hammond. Thank you Chef Armstrong. Thank you Zisso the Bear. Thank you Pigeon Parker. Thank you Navarog. Thank you Ghoulish Goblin. Thank you Jack Film Bot React Boy. Thank you for the gift subs. Ooh, a ton of gift subs. Thank you. Aquaman's gonna be going crazy. Oh, I just remembered one more thing I gotta pull up. One more thing I gotta pull up on my monitor here for what we're gonna be discussing today. Give me 1 second, guys. Thank you, Kobe's Owner Live. Thank you, Poot Jami. Thank you, Limp Stady. We got all the regulars here today, guys. We got all the regulars here today. Howard the Duck for Rivals? Absolutely. Chat's going crazy. You guys are fucking turned up today. You guys love Cosmonaut catch up. Who doesn't, right? Everybody's favorite yearly discussion show. Right? Thank you, Meow Barbs. Thank you, I Am Dami. Can you do the Oscars predictions? No, not this year. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that in a second. We are going to talk about that in a second. We are going to discuss that. Okay, let's pull up the first thing we're going to talk about. Thank you, Meow Barbs. Did I say thank you to you already? Whatever. You can have another one. Who the fuck is calling me? Megan, stop it. We're busy. All right, so. Hi, guys. Welcome to Cosmonaut Catch-Up 2024 edition. It's 2025 now, but, you know, we're talking about 2024. Vader killed Watto. Yeah, you know, I know this is a sensitive time right now. This past week, we did lose someone very important to us. A visionary, an inspiration. We lost Watto. It has been revealed that Darth Vader returned to Tatooine and killed Watto. It's so fucked up. And, like, you know that it's a sensitive topic for me, so I'm not going to be discussing it very much today. I don't want to bring down the mood. I just wanted everybody to know, because a lot of people don't know yet. But Watto has passed. He did die. He was murdered. So, a moment of silence for Watto. And yes, remember, no one's ever really gone. No one's ever really gone. It does hurt that we didn't know until now. It is true. It hurts that we went this long without knowing. Thank you, Juno Barrymore. Thank you, Dirty Curdy. Thank you, Bread Manx. So anyway, now that sad business is out of the way, let's talk about the order of business for the day. So, For those of you who don't know, Cosmonaut Catch Up is the yearly series where I talk about all the things I did not make a video on that I watched. Some things I didn't watch. You'll find that I skipped a lot of stuff this year. But we have a few things to cover. Nikki's crying. Let's let Nikki in. He wants to hang out too. He wants to play. Come on, little man. You want to come in? You want to be on the show? Okay. Don't mind. Nikki can come help us for this one. Big guy. Come here, big boy. I know. You had a lot of things you'd like to watch this year. So, we have a few orders of business. Firstly, like I said, there's a bunch of stuff I didn't watch this year, weirdly enough. There's a lot of stuff I skipped because I just didn't feel like watching it. Now, a lot of people were saying that I didn't make as many videos last year, and that is true. The amount of videos was low. I was pretty busy with non-video things last year, with life things and health things that don't apply anymore. Everything's normal now. Okay? And yeah, there wasn't a bunch of stuff coming out. So I didn't have anything to make videos on, you know? But the videos I did make, I worked on making them real good. Okay? I feel like I made some good videos last year. So I took the act of making less stuff, but excuse me. You were just up here. I made less stuff, but I tried to make that stuff real good. Okay? I'm very proud of that Buffy video. I'm very proud of our M. Night Shyamalan video. So, but this year, I plan on making more videos. All right? So don't worry. We will make more, including more picture shows. So, in Cosmonaut Picture Show, we've had some rough times with it because we were doing Transformers. We made the foolish endeavor of doing Transformers. For those of you who do not know, Paramount is one of the strictest studios for some reason. They are fucking dickheads. All right? And they would just not let our videos go through. It was really annoying. So we're done. We're finished with Transformers. Okay? No more Transformers. We're not doing Rise of Beasts. I'm sorry. It's not like anybody was really asking for it anyway. You know? It's not like anybody really gave a fuck about Rise of the Beasts. We're skipping it. We're going to move on to other things. All right? I'm sorry. But it's just, we can't, I would rather just make more videos. Nikki, stop clawing the carpet. Dude, you are making a problem for me right now. Anyway. So yeah, we're done with that. We're going to go on. We're going to make more picture shows on things that aren't Paramount movies. Okay? We have a lot of things we want to do. We wanted to do Resident Evil. We want to do all the Resident Evil movies. We've already teased that plenty of times before. Pulling up another thing I forgot I wanted to talk about. What was that printing called? Is this it? Okay. Give me a second. Only 24. Yeah, let's pull that up. Anyway, sorry, I'm pulling up things on that we're going to talk about today. Things we're going to chat about. So, bam, bam, bam. Let me cover some of the subscriptions We got Manzington, Dirty Curdy. Yeah, we got you guys. And we have 10194514. Thank you for the gift sub. Thank you, Parish Leader. Thank you, Brigida Francis. Thank you, Alex Demon. Thank you, Lukey Tommy. Okay, back on the discussion. So, more picture shows, more videos. I'm not going to be doing that much traveling this year, I don't think. I don't think I have any other video appearances that I know of. I might. Actually, I might have other video appearances on friends' channels, but for the most part, I'm staying put. I'm moving to a bigger house so we can make more shit. Okay? Making more videos this year. I have a few ideas that I want to do, but I don't want to make it, you know. I don't want to promise anything yet. Because whenever I say I'm going to make something, I end up not making it because, I don't know, it just happens that way. That's why I don't tell you guys what I'm making anymore. Because when I say it, I don't show up, you know? Also, I have a New Year's resolution this year. I have learned a new skill. I have been making music because I had a nightmare. Evil Martin Luther King be like, I had a nightmare. But I had a nightmare that I was making that I was making a video, right? Or well, no, I was looking at my YouTube channel. I had a dream that I was like looking at my analytics and stuff and like my monetization, and all my videos got demonetized because of the fucking Cuphead music that I always use, and from like all the licensed music that I've used over the years, right? Right. I had a dream that everything I ever made was demonetized because one day, you know, the license holders were like, no, and they cracked down on it, right? So I got scared, and I was like, you know what? I know how to play music to some degree. I'm not the greatest, but I have an idea of how to make music. So I'm gonna just do it, and I'll make my own beats for my videos. All right, I already made a few. It's slow going because it's kind of hard. You know, they don't tell you, but that shit's tough. So that's my personal goal. I already made one. I've actually made a few songs that I've put in videos. You guys just don't know it. I'll probably stick with the Marvel vs. Capcom music. It brings me comfort. You know, I don't think those are going anywhere. But we'll probably still use a few of the songs that I used. But I have put music. Yeah, I've made songs. I'm trying to think. What was one that I made? The beginning of the X-Men read guide, the X-Men comic guide. I made that song. That was kind of like where I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll do this later. And then last year I looked into it, and I got Ableton, and I messed around a little bit. I'm like, you know, this is really hard, and I'm kind of busy, so I'll do this later. And then I switched to FL Studio, and I found it was a lot better. Segment for the Batman. Everybody's saying, did I make that song? No, that was a creator song. On YouTube, there's a new feature where we have a library of songs that we can use, and I found that one, and it just seemed to fit. You know, the Marvel vs. Capcom music will stay. That is our brand. I agree, but like for background, sometimes I just don't have the vibe that I'm looking for. You know, so I'd just rather make it myself. So anyway, that's my personal goal for this year. I've been cooking in the studio. I still need a producer name though, you know. My friend said I should call myself SBMC, DJ SBMC, Snow Bunny Mind Control. But I also had the thought that if I do make video music, right, I'll probably put them online for other creators to. I'll license them so no one else can like steal them and say that they made them. But I'll license them, and I will put them online so that other creators can just use them, and I'll never fucking come at you for it. You know, I don't care if I'm gonna use it. Like everybody else can use it. I don't really care. So this is a little idea. I've been cooking with. If you guys hear a song in a video that you don't recognize, I probably made it. Nikki was looking at his dick, sorry. Anyway, oh, and one more thing. Do I have it open? Some of you were asking, and I gotta make sure I still got it. I don't think. Oh, here we go. No, wait, I don't have it. I don't have the picture, but the Kusoge fight night that we were planning, this the stream where we're gonna play bad fighting games. We're still doing that, but I will keep you guys posted. We got really busy near the end of the year last year, so we couldn't do it. But we're still doing that. We're still doing it. Okay, so don't worry, it's not going anywhere. And I'm gonna be doing more streams this year. Basically, I'm just gonna be making more stuff. Okay, we're doing more stuff. Was I not interested in the new slam? I was too busy to apply for the new slam. But it was also my thought that Sajam probably wanted new faces, you know? I didn't ask. I assumed that, I want to keep it fresh. Maybe the next one, though. Maybe the next one. I had a lot of fun doing it. It was a great time. Made a lot of new friends. Made a lot of new buddies. But, yeah, go watch the Sajam Slam. It's fun. It's a good time. Play fighting games. You know how it is. Thank you, Freddie Kubrick. Yeah, no, I just didn't. I was too busy. It was so close to this month that I could not finish my Shyamalan video and take part in the slam, and I had to prioritize doing that, so I didn't apply this year or this time, But I had fun with it. I'd do it again. Anyway, that seems like all the talking points. Oh, one more thing. People have said, Nikki, what are you doing, man? He's clawing up the carpet. He's pissed off. People said last year that I didn't go as in-depth on my Cosmonaut Quickie entries, or my Cosmonaut Catch-Up entries last year. That I kind of breezed past a lot of things, and they preferred the old way where I'd actually just make a big quickie, a big long quickie of a bunch of stuff. Personally, I like doing it this way because I can talk to you guys. Excuse me. And, I get to have a conversation with you guys directly about the things I like. And sometimes you guys bring up stuff I forgot about, because a lot of these things are things I watched in February last year and I forgot about them, You guys help me out. So I have written a list of talking points for each thing we're going to talk about in case, I'm going to beef it up. Okay? Because I like doing it live. Some people like the other way because they think I go more in depth and they want to hear me talk more about stuff. So we're going to have the best of both worlds. I wrote bullet points of things that I can talk about if I feel like we haven't discussed a thing enough yet. Okay? So, without further ado, let's talk about things that came out. Now, before we get to movies and shows and whatnot, I want to talk about things that I liked that weren't movies and shows. Okay? Things that I enjoyed that were not, things I would make videos on normally. Right? For video games, yeah, I like Street Fighter, but we're not going to talk about Street Fighter. You guys can go watch the Sajam Slam. I liked, but I did like Street Fighter. It was probably my most played video. Actually, on my Steam charts, Street Fighter 6 was my most played game by a long shot. Silent Hill 2, I did play Silent Hill 2 on Christmas. On Christmas, I took a break from making the Shyamalan video, and I just downloaded Silent Hill 2 Remake. I played it, and I loved it. It was great. It wasn't my favorite. I think I prefer Resident Evil remakes a little more, but I thought it was a really good time. I never beat Silent Hill 2, the original, when I was younger. I played it a little bit, and I was like, this game's clunky, and it sucks, and I don't like it. So I dropped it, but I really enjoyed it. I was going to stream it, but for those of you who don't know, I was dying of influenza while I was making, over Christmas. I was so sick. I was so sick. I was the sickest I've been in years. I've had a few times where I've been like, oh, I can't, the video's delayed because I got sick. And that's been like a minor cold. This was bad. This was really bad. And no, it wasn't COVID. I still have never gotten COVID. I think I'm immune to COVID at the cost of not being immune to influenza. So I was really fucking sick. I will tell you, editing the Shyamalan video while I was that sick really fucked with me. I was going crazy, guys. But anyway, I did like Silent Hill 2. It was fun. I don't have anything else to say about it, though. That's not, you know. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I did like that. You guys can go watch the VODs of that. Those are up. Astrobot was fun, but I kind of dropped it. Anyway. But one thing I did do a lot of last year was I read a lot of comic books. I read a ton of comic books. More than I think I've ever read. And normally, I just read a lot of X-Men, you know? It's kind of all I read. I just open up my Marvel Unlimited app. That's what it's called, right? I open up the Marvel app and I just read a bunch of X-Men, right? I'm not reading current X-Men. I think current X-Men looks bad, and I'm not reading it. My rule, my personal rule, look at me in the eye right now, okay? My personal rule is, and this is something you should do, you do not have to read bad comics. If a comic run looks stupid, if it looks like shit, and everybody says it's bad, you do not have to read it, okay? A lot of people read, like, current 616 Spider-Man, and they're like, this sucks. Why I hate reading this. And they keep reading it. Just don't read it. I don't read Spider-Man. Okay? Because it sucks. However, I do read Ultimate Spider-Man. So, right now, Marvel's doing a new Ultimate Universe. Right? Let's put this on a slow speed, right? Here we go. Right now, they're doing an Ultimate run where it's a whole new universe, whole new rules. For instance, Peter Parker's married with kids and then he becomes Spider-Man when he's an adult. Very interesting concept, you know? And I really like this universe. If you guys have been playing Marvel Rivals and you're like, oh, what's this skin that Reed has, the maker? I want to know more about this. This is all related to that. And it's very, very cool. It's very sick. I really like the Ultimates as well, the Avengers comic for this universe. I think that this is just a very fresh and interesting way to get into comic books. I went to my comic book store the other day. I tweeted about this, but like I went to my local shop and it was cleaned out for the first time that in like my memory. Every new comic was gone. Because Marvel Rivals has people reading comic books. It's crazy. The people in the store were talking about the game while they were shopping, right? So if you guys are playing Marvel Rivals and you're like, I want to get into comic books, but it's really, really hard because it is. Let's not lie. Like there's people who are like, oh, it's not really that hard. No, it is. Shut the fuck up. Getting into comic books is hard. This many people would not be saying it if it wasn't true. Okay? But if you want to get into something new and cool and fresh, just read the Ultimate comics. Ultimates 1 from 2024. Read that one, not the other Ultimates. There's another one. Don't read that. It's not very good. But Ultimates 2024, Ultimate Spider-Man 2024, those are the two I've been reading. I recommend also reading Ultimate Invasion. That gives you kind of the framework for this universe, because this universe is very crazy. This universe is very weird. You got to read Ultimate Invasion to understand all of it. I haven't read Ultimate X-Men yet, but I have it. It's sitting behind me, literally. But yeah, Ultimates, I like quite a bit. I'm a big fan of the Ultimates. There's concepts in this comic that are very fascinating to me. For instance, in this new universe, there is no America. America does not exist anymore. So when Captain America awakens from the ice and he finds out that everything he stands for is gone, that's very compelling stuff, you know? I think this series is a little better than Ultimate Spider-Man personally. I like it a lot more. Ultimate Spider-Man is still very much a slow burn, but this series, this is like if you want action packed, if you want cool concepts, if you want things to think about, like the fact that Doctor Doom is on this team. Doctor Doom is part of the Avengers, and he's not, who you think he is, and his backstory is heartbreaking and fucked up. It's so good. Yeah, Ultimates 4 is very good. So yes, Ultimates 2024, highly recommend it. You do have to read Ultimate Invasion first, though, to get the full framework. They're going to just drop you straight in and be like, hey, by the way, if you don't know what happened in Ultimate Invasion, you're going to be really confused. Read Ultimate Invasion, then you can just jump straight into this. Personally, I think this is one of the best comics on being written right now. I don't like Ultimate Invasion. I will say I don't like Ultimate Invasion either. I think it's not. I don't like it. I think it's a bit mid. I think it's a bit much. But you do kind of have to read it. Oh yes, and Ultimate Universe #1. Yes, you got to read those to understand this stuff. But it's very good. I've been reading this. I think it's really good. But let's say you don't like Marvel, right? DC's doing the same thing. DC's doing the same thing. And I actually think it's better. I actually think it's a lot better. So DC conveniently is doing almost the exact same thing where they're doing the Absolute line, where they take Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, give them new books, and they take away, there's a gimmick to it. They take away the thing that you associate them with. I say Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman? Right, I said that, right? I don't know what I'm fucking saying. So, for instance, for Batman, they take away his money. They take away his butler. He has nothing. But he's just a regular guy who's just a man of the streets. And he is still Batman somehow. And it's fucking sick. I will say, Absolute Batman #1, Scott Snyder, let me see the fucking comic book. Absolute Batman #1 is the single best issue of a comic I read all year. It is so fucking raw. And it's so meaty. It has so much content in it for just one issue. It is so good. If I recommend one single issue of a comic, read Absolute Batman #1 if you can get your hands on it. It's so fucking sick. Yeah, Batman's like thick and meaty. He's huge. It's so sick. Absolute Wonder Woman, I actually literally have on my stack of comics right behind me. I couldn't find #1 until 2 days ago. Okay, so I haven't read it, but it's also really cool. Fucking Wonder Woman has like a great sword, like Cloud Strife. I haven't read Superman yet either, but I've been reading Batman, and it's very good. Everybody I know has said great things about all three series. I highly recommend these as well. So, I've heard Superman is not as good as the other two, but I haven't heard anybody say anything bad about Superman. I've heard great things about Wonder Woman. Oh yeah, Wonder Woman's from hell. Like, she doesn't have her island of Amazons. Superman doesn't have his family that raised him. He lands and he's just on his fucking own. He's just by himself. So, they take away like the core like backstory concepts from the characters, and they show like these characters would still be the same even without the things that you think molded them. And it's very cool. It's very sick. I like the idea of Batman being a poor kid from Gotham because it really it fleshes out the character in such a unique way, you know? So, I recommend reading comics. You guys can just jump straight into these. You don't need to read anything else to get into them, and I think that's why I would recommend them. Especially with the DC comics. Like, you don't even need to read a mid world building comic to get into them. Just jump straight in. You know? Yeah, it is Black Mask. It's so fucking cool. Ultimate, Absolute Batman is so raw. So yeah, I recommend those. But let's talk about movies, right? Oh wait, no. Not yet. Because there was one more thing that I really have been enjoying this year. That's Marvel Rivals. These are compilations that someone has been making. Metastrophe. Definitely go give these a watch. They made edits of me and my friends playing this game, streaming it. Shout outs to Metastrophe. This game is so good, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be very candid with you guys right now. I was supposed to make the M. Night Shyamalan movie for November. Now, the Xander video got pushed because it took longer to make. But I still probably could have gotten it the Shyamalan video done in December, but I was playing so much Marvel Rivals. I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. This game is so good. I have a thing where like I get sick of a game pretty quick and I move on to the next thing. I have not gotten sick of Marvel Rivals yet. And I only play Thor. I've gotten Lord on Thor already. I get MVP almost every game. I'm so fascinated by the fact that the characters, like, you can master the characters. I always felt like when I was playing Overwatch matches just felt like the same game every time you play, you know? I was playing Overwatch last year, like near the beginning of the year, and I was like, damn, this is like, I'm really just playing, I'm doing the same thing every match. Yeah, it felt like rock, paper, scissors. Like, I just didn't feel like there was enough diversity because you're locked into your roles. You have to play the same team comp. Whereas here, you can mix it up. You can play 4 duelists and win. You know, people are complaining about the triple healer, but triple healer's beatable. Like, the game, you can come up with ideas on the fly with your team. It's such a well-made game. There's so much detail in the game too. Like, you can, if you like Marvel Comics, this is the perfect video game. It's perfect. I have no problems with this game. What rank am I? I don't remember. I think I got plat. I just play ranked and I don't even look at what my points are. You know, I don't look at how high I've gotten. You know? 10 out of 10? Absolutely. I'm going to have to give it a 10 out of 10. The only thing I don't like in this game is Luna Snow's ult. I think that shit lasts way too long. I think that shit lasts way too long. Bump it down to 9 seconds and we're good. But like, so many people have different complaints about the game. They're like, oh, this character's busted. This character's too weak. I think the game is very well made right now. I think it's very good. I like that there's like hard counter picks. There's just characters you can shut down with another character, you know? But yeah, I think this game's really good. I like it a lot. Again, go watch, if you want to watch me play it, Metastrophe has very good compilations of me and my friends playing it. They made it, they cut it down to the funniest, coolest bits. I will be streaming more of this in the coming months. This is like my main game right now. It's so fun. It's so fun. So yeah, go Metastrophe. Go watch them. Is that it for non-video games? I think it is. Or not non-shows and non-movies. So let's talk about movies and shows. Movies and shows. Thank you, Tasty Beginnings. Thank you, John Taffer. Thank you, Firefan. Thank you, DS Arrow. Thank you, Danny Boy. Thank you, The Plixel. Thank you again, Danny Boy. Thank you, Freddie Kubrick. Thank you, Rice Farmer. Thank you, Vane Hype. Thank you, Betray. Thank you, D'Angelo Navarro. Thank you, Psy Dude. Thank you, Tu Wang Villain. Thank you, Jishi. Thank you, Mad Lad Brad. Thank you, Lukey Tommy. Okay, that's everybody. Oh yeah, I did enjoy Sparking Zero a lot. I actually do want to get the DLC for that. I was really enjoying Sparking Zero last year. I forgot about that, but that was probably one of my most enjoyed games of the year. You guys can go watch my streams of that too on Cosmonaut Variety Streams if you want. So anyway, let's talk about movies. So, I have an order of movies and shows, okay? You guys have a lot of things you've been asking me to talk about, like Penguin and things like that. But I have to make you guys eat your vegetables too, you know? We'll start with the brain rot, and then I'm making you eat your vegetables, and then we'll do more brain rot, yada yada. Okay? So I went to see Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I started with this one because I want you guys to get mad at me. I'm kind of a glutton for punishment. I didn't like Sonic 3. I did not. Okay, I don't think it's that I didn't like the movie. I didn't like watching the movie. And that I have to explain. Listen to me. Listen. The chat's going crazy because you guys are so mad at me. But listen. My experience watching the movie was very bad. I went to see this movie at 9 p.m., middle of the night, downtown Atlanta. And there's this motherfucker who took 12 kids. It's just me, my girlfriend, and 12 kids sitting around us in a circle. And let me just say real quick. I am fond of children. I have a soft spot for kids in my heart. I'm not the kind of person who's like, oh, yo, fucking snot-nosed brats, get them out of my fucking life. No, I think people like that are corny. Okay? But this night almost changed that for me. These kids were bad. They were bad kids. All right? They were screaming. They were cussing. I've never heard such foul language from children in my life. They were cussing up a storm, dude. Anytime anything fucking happened, they were just saying, fuck you, fuck the bullshit. Like, they're just saying words with no context behind them. And I was like, where the fuck did I just show up? Anytime anything happened, they just talked about it next to me. Like they weren't even enjoying what was happening on the screen. Okay? So yes, my experience was sullied by the fact that I was in the worst theater experience of my fucking life. If I had gone to see this movie opening day, which I didn't, I had to wait a couple weeks because I was making videos, right? I was working on M. Night Shyamalan, so I didn't have time to go watch this opening day. But we had to go see this later, and if I was in a theater with like half nerd, like a full theater with like half millennial nerds and then half kids, I think I would have had a great time, right? But I didn't, and it made it so hard to enjoy it for me. But beyond that, I think the movie was still mid, honestly. Now, I will say I also had, like the cool stuff spoiled for me by Twitter, which is a little annoying, but it happens. I get it. I went to see the movie a little late. But like, Sonic fans are honestly the most delusional people I've ever seen on Twitter. They are so fucking weird. Sonic fans will be like, that movie was so fucking peak. Sonic was in it, guys. And I'm like, okay. Like, getting hyped for Supersonic is one thing, but like, we got Supersonic in the last movie. It's not like we fucking, this is new content for us. You know what I mean? This movie is mostly little kid dumb jokes, right? And I'm fine with that. But like, when the human stuff isn't happening, when the Jim Carrey jerk off hour isn't happening, the movie's a lot better. And I think Jim Carrey is very fun in this movie. Honestly, he's still a highlight of these movies because you can tell they just turn on the camera and they say, do whatever you want, Jimmy. I like that. But I think that there's a disconnect between like the hype moments and the goofy Jim Carrey nonsense, right? Like, because people talk about a lot how there's a very cool scene between Sonic and Shadow near the end of the movie where they dap each other up and they transform. That shit is so fucking raw. But then they don't talk about the fact that it immediately cuts to Jim Carrey spanking himself. And I like the Jim Carrey spanking personally, but I think there is a disconnect in how the movie is paced, right? I think there's a big disconnect in how the movie is laid out to us, right? So personally, I would not have made the movie like this. I think that they should understand at this point that people really just want to see Sonic and his friends kicking ass and being cool, right? No, the movies don't have to be PG-13. The coolest parts of the movie are when Sonic is doing Sonic stuff. It's always been like that. It's been like that in every single one of these movies. Like, look at this. This is awesome. If I was a fucking kid, I would have loved this. But maybe I'm not the target audience anymore because I am no longer a Sonic fan. I grew out of that when I got into high school. Okay? I'm probably not the person to be complaining about this. You know what I mean? I just think there's a big disconnect in what this movie's trying to do. You know what I mean? People on Twitter were just hyping this movie up so much. They were like, guys, this movie is fucking serious. It's heartbreaking. It's moving. Like, they're talking about it like... Oh, sorry, buddy. Come here. Oh. They're talking about it like it's transformative filmmaking. It's just a Sonic movie, guys. It's a cool Sonic movie, but it's just a fucking Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Are you kidding me? They're talking about it like it's fucking Citizen Kane 2. So I'm sorry. It was fine. I didn't hate it. I wasn't in the movie with the frown on my face. Okay, I kind of was, actually. I was frowning a lot. There's this fucking scene, guys. There's this scene near the end of the movie, right, where Sonic and Shadow are talking to each other. I don't care. I don't care about fucking spoiling anything. All right, you don't need it. If you're worried about getting spoiled for Sonic the Hedgehog, I don't know what to tell you. All right, Sonic and Shadow fight, and then they stop fighting. All right, but anyway, they're sitting and they're talking and they're having a heart to heart with each other, right? And they're trying to like relate to each other and finally understand each other, right? And the music is tender, and the scene is quiet and it's contemplative. And then this kid in the back of the theater shouts, "Yo, this shit is gay!" And all the kids around me start laughing. They start cracking up, and I'm like, "Come on, man! Come on! I'm trying to like this fucking movie." I can't even engage with the film for 5 fucking minutes, dude. So, you know, the movie's fine. If you like Sonic the Hedgehog, like, this shit is cool, but this is not the whole movie, okay? It's not. And I think my problem is that this shit is so sick in this one. Like, the action in this one is so much better than the other 2 movies, but it's still being held down by the things that the studio thinks it needs to include to get the kids clapping like seals at the screen, you know? Anyway, that's my overly long Sonic rant for no reason. It was fine. Not for me, probably. But it was fine. I probably would have loved it if I saw it opening day. I'm not going to lie to you. Part of this is my bias. But yeah, the Dragon Ball fight scenes were so good. They were so sick. They were the coolest part of the movie, but there's only like 10 minutes of that total in the entire movie. You know what I mean? But anyway. That's enough brain rot. Let's talk about... We'll do Secret Level later. I don't have much to say about Secret Level, but I do have a lot to say about... Let's see. Yeah, let's hit this real quick. So, let's hit this real quick. Because this show's airing. And I don't want to talk about something that's not fully out yet. You know what I mean? So, a few years ago, I watched Severance. And it was the best show I've seen in years. One of the best shows I have ever watched in my life. And that's just season 1. And I haven't even started season 2. I watched like 5 minutes of it, and I'm like, I think I need to go back and rewatch season 1 because season 1 was what, like 3 years ago. It was forever ago now. I will not spoil anything. Don't worry. I'm not gonna spoil a damn thing because I know a lot of people are hearing about the hype of season 2. They're hearing about people being like, "This show's amazing, gotta watch it," and they're like, "Well, I didn't have Apple TV 3 years ago, so I haven't seen it yet." This show is fantastic. The visuals alone should be selling you. Look how well this shit is shot. And this is just a fucking trailer. When the way they do the rack focus thing when they transition between their two selves is so clever. Can you believe Ben Stiller makes this fucking show? Like, are you kidding me? It's crazy. Azali, is that what they call it? I don't know. I don't make movies. The colors, I was watching season 1 again with my girlfriend, and I was just noticing how the shot composition can tell you. Like, look at this fucking shot. If you watch the show, you understand the significance of this shot. How only half of this man's life exists right now. The other half is darkness to him. He's stuck in this little box, and that is all he experiences. That is... Are you kidding me? It's genius. That's not spoilers. Listen, you learn this stuff in the first 5 minutes of the show, all right? But like if you rewatch this show with all of this knowledge in your head, you will see these amazing details, right? But even outside of that, I think this show has like some of the most interesting character writing. How like each character is playing two characters. I already love when that's happening. But like when these two characters that are technically the same person don't get along with each other, but they have the same overlying character traits. That stuff is just so fascinating to me. You know? Like one character is her main trait is that she is very headstrong. She is very prideful. And she butts heads with herself. That it's stuff that like I could never come up with. You know? The show is just so fascinating. This is the kind of show where one episode will bring up a concept that leaves you uncomfortable for the rest of the day. It will make you upset and you'll think about it for a long time. So many weird moral conundrums that you just have to sit and think about. You have to sit and be like, my cats are being so fucking bad right now. I'll be right back. What are you doing? Oh my god, you just knocked everything over. Get out of here, guys. They started fighting. My two cats started fighting. Anyway. What was I saying? The moral dilemmas that this show will have you like thinking through are very disturbing. But at the same time, the show's very funny too. The show knows that like it has to alleviate some of this dread and tension with comedy. And I like the dark comedy in this show. It's not even all dark comedy. Some of it's like genuinely goofy and silly. You know? I really can't spoil the show. I can't talk about it too much. I don't want to spoil it. The show, it's one of the best shows out right now. The only thing wrong with this show is that you have to get Apple TV to watch it. You know? You have to get Apple TV to watch it. A lot of people don't have Apple TV. I get it, you know? Me and my girlfriend got 3 months free because she got an iPad for Christmas. So we're set. But the rest of you guys, I do recommend it. I do think it's worth like the fucking $15 for a month of Apple TV to watch it. I genuinely think it's worth it. The show's really good. It's amazing, honestly. I can't recommend it enough. I wish I could talk more about it, but I don't want to spoil it. Almost there in every single episode, there's something to be spoiled. You know what I mean? And even that I think like there's shots in this fucking trailer that like I don't even want to show you guys. Anyway, show's real good. Recommend it. Get an Apple TV subscription. Have a great time. Let's real quick run through Furiosa. I don't actually have a lot to say about Furiosa, I'm going to be honest. Creature Commandos, I haven't watched Creature Commandos yet. I'm going to be honest, I forgot Creature Commandos came out until you just mentioned it. I haven't started it yet. So, I don't have anything to say about it. Oh, for Severance, 10 out of 10. Easy. What do you want from me? Come on. Also, we're not doing Craven because I'll probably do a video on Craven on its own. So no Craven. I'm sorry. And no The Boys. I should say real quick, I have not finished The Boys. See, the newest season of The Boys did not feel very good to me. I was watching it. I got a few episodes in. I'm like, I think this kind of sucks. So I haven't watched it. I'll get back to it when the last season comes out, but I don't know, guys. I don't think it's that good. I think it's fallen off for me. But anyway, Furiosa. So Furiosa is another thing for me where the things I like, I love. And the things I don't like, I really don't like. But I love more than I have more things I love than things I don't like, to be fair. Okay? I think that visually, I do think it's a small step down from Mad Max Fury Road. Not a big step down, but a small step down. And that is something that kind of has to happen because Fury Road was hell to shoot, you know? In order to make better working conditions for the cast and crew, it has to be shot worse. Unfortunately, some things, like, if you want to treat people better, sometimes the art will suffer for it. That's just a fact, you know? I can only say the result is that the movie does look a little worse, in my opinion. It doesn't look bad. It just looks a little worse. That's all I'm going to say about that, right? Also, yes, someone just said, and I was going to get to that, the pacing of this movie is simply worse than Fury Road as well. There is a big chunk of this movie where I forgot Furiosa was in it. I forgot she was in the movie. There's a lot of time that is spent on Chris Hemsworth desert politics. And it's not interesting. It is not very engaging. All the stuff that is focused on Furiosa is fantastic. It's great. I love it. It's awesome. All the other stuff, not my favorite. Personally, not my favorite. I do like that he makes this very operatic attempt at telling her story where, like, you aren't entirely sure if all of this stuff really happened. It feels like someone is telling you a fable about the great warrior Furiosa, and I think that's a very cool approach to it. How you're not even really sure if any of this is true, you know? It's like a word of mouth fable, and I think that's a very cool way of doing it. You know, this movie isn't as over the top, epic, and bombastic as Fury Road, but I don't think it needs to be. It's telling a different kind of story, and I very much enjoyed that. Like, I'd say like the last half of this movie was amazing. I loved the last half of this movie. The first half of this movie, not as much. There were little bits and pieces that I really enjoyed, but there were points in this movie where I was a little bored, and I don't get bored very often when I watch things. So I was very shocked that I was just not engaging with the first half as much. Second half is great. Chris Hemsworth, overall, his performance is so engaging. It's so fun to see him be this very interesting villain. You know? I found that he's not even like overtly evil as far as the circumstances of this world are concerned, you know? Like he's not as bad as a Morton Joe in my opinion. He's still pretty fucking bad though. But like he has redeemable aspects. And I think that it's just very interesting seeing this feud between her and him where like if it was like she didn't treat a Morton Joe like this, you know, when she was older. And I found their dynamic very interesting. Chris Hemsworth was going crazy. You could tell he was having a lot of fun with it. You know? I thought it was a very, very, very interesting dynamic between these characters. People saying the last 20 minutes ruined it. I love the last 20 minutes. I don't know. I really enjoyed the last 20 minutes of the movie. I love the resolution of this film. Personally. I think my favorite parts of this entire film were like the last 20 to 30 minutes. Where like there is no final battle. There is no big confrontation. It is a very like intimate conclusion between these two characters. You know? I will take that over a big epic final battle any day of the fucking week, personally. There's stuff in this movie that I have never seen before. You know? That changed the way I could see a story like this being told. And then at the same time, there's decisions that I think weren't very good. You know what I mean? I think that there's no scene in this movie that's going to be as cool as the coolest scenes in Fury Road, right? I think that Fury Road, as far as an action movie is concerned, is a 10 out of 10. There is nothing wrong with that movie. I have no problems with anything in that film. And I can't say the same for this. It's just the way it goes, you know? There's nothing I can really, I could do about that. I still think this movie's good. It's not trying to be an epic action adventure movie like Fury Road was. It's just not trying to do that. So I can't really blame it for not being the same kind of movie. You know what I mean? I think there's some great things in this movie, and I think there's some things that I would have fleshed out a little more. You know what I mean? I think if they're both edited together, it'd be a 10 out of 10. I don't really know, because one of the things I really didn't like was how, like, the very, very end of this movie just shows you clips from Fury Road. I thought that was kind of tacky, personally. I kind of thought that was, like, a little lame. I didn't really like that very much, you know? Because to me, like, I'm already like going into this movie thinking, all right, it's not Fury Road. I'm going to look at it as a different thing. And that helped me enjoy it. But then when the movie ends and it reminds you, hey, remember this really, really good 10 out of 10 movie? I'm like, well, now I do. I just